Hello friends, have you ever wondered why some places feel like home to you, while others just don't click at all? What if I told you that the stars might have something to do with it? Today, we're diving into the best travel destinations for each zodiac sign, and trust me, by the end of this video, you might just be planning your next trip based on the cosmos. Let's begin with Aries, the fiery trailblazer of the zodiac. Aries love energy, excitement, and challenges. So where should they go? Think adventure capitals like Queenstown, New Zealand, bungee jumping, whitewater rafting, skydiving, basically a playground for adrenaline junkies. Aries thrive where they can push limits. When an Aries lands in Queenstown, it feels less like a vacation and more like the universe handing them a challenge. From the very first step onto the tarmac, they're greeted by crisp alpine air that carries a subtle scent of pine and snow, and their eyes widen at the panorama. Sharp, jagged peaks cutting into the sky, mirrored by the calm, glassy expanse of Lake Wakatipu below. This contrast, serenity beside raw, untamed power, is exactly what fuels Aries. They see the mountains not as scenery but as obstacles to conquer, playgrounds to climb, and arenas to test their fire. Queenstown's reputation precedes itself. It's the world's adventure capital, a fact that Aries embraces with an almost competitive grin. By sunrise, they're strapping on harnesses for their first bungee jump. The platform sways slightly in the wind, their heart pounds, but unlike others who hesitate, Aries is already leaning forward, craving the rush of free fall. In those few seconds of descent, air roaring past their ears, the thrill becomes more than just adrenaline, it's pure liberation. When the cord snaps them back up, they scream, not in fear, but in triumph. Aries doesn't just survive the leap, they own it. The next day, whitewater rafting down the Shotover River. The icy spray stings their face, the raft buckles under churning waves, but Aries loves it. Every rapid is a battle, and battles are what they were born for. They paddle hard, teeth gritted, exhilarated as the boat slams through whirlpools. Their laughter echoes over the roar of water, fearless and untamed. And just when you think they'd take a rest, Aries is signing up for skydiving. The moment the plane door opens at 15,000 feet, they're the first one out, plummeting toward Earth with arms stretched wide, savoring the chaos of freefall until the parachute blooms above them like a fiery crown. But Queenstown isn't only about extremes, it's about stamina. Aries thrives on long treks, and Fiordland National Park calls to them with its rugged trails and dramatic landscapes. They set off on the Routeburn track, bounding up switchbacks as if the mountain itself dared them to slow down. By midday, they're standing above vast valleys, wind whipping through their hair, gazing down at waterfalls crashing thousands of feet below. Most people would sit in quiet reflection, but Aries roars in victory, arms raised high, feeding off the feeling that they've conquered nature itself. Evenings in Queenstown are just as alive. Aries feeds off the buzzing energy of backpacker bars, clinking glasses with fellow travelers, swapping tales of the day's conquests. They're not shy about telling their stories, how they jumped, climbed, dove, or raced, and their enthusiasm is infectious. They make fast friends because people are drawn to their fire, their confidence, and the sparkle in their eyes that says, "What's next?" Queenstown gives Aries exactly what they crave. A never-ending supply of challenges to defeat, thrills to chase, and adventures to fuel their insatiable spirit. It doesn't coddle them with luxury or lull them with calm. It dares them to live bigger, louder, and braver than they thought possible. For Aries, this isn't just a trip. It's proof of their nature. They arrive bold, they leave bolder, and their stories become legends that they'll tell again and again, each time reliving the fire of New Zealand's adventure capital that matched their own fiery soul beat for beat. And now, a little side note. If you'd like to support the channel, there's a "Thanks" button right under this video, or through the donation alerts link in the description. Your support truly helps me keep creating. And of course, if you enjoy the content, please leave a like and subscribe so you won't miss what's coming next. Thank you so much for being here. Now, let's continue. Now Taurus, are lovers of luxury and comfort. For Taurus, travel is about indulging the senses, delicious food, stunning scenery, and cozy vibes. Tuscany, Italy is the perfect match. Rolling hills, wine tastings, and fresh pasta. Taurus won't just visit, they'll want to move in. For Taurus, arriving in Tuscany is like stepping into a dream they've secretly carried their whole lives. The air itself feels softer here, perfumed with wild lavender, rosemary, and the faint sweetness of grapevines ripening under the Mediterranean sun. The light is golden, stretched thin across rolling hills that undulate like gentle waves, crowned with cypress trees standing in elegant silence. Tuscany isn't just a place for Taurus, it's a love story written in color, texture, and taste, where every moment feels like an embrace from the earth itself. The journey begins in Florence, the cradle of the Renaissance, where Taurus is immediately captivated by the artistry etched into every stone. They stroll through the Piazza della Signoria, pausing to admire Michelangelo's David, not rushing but lingering, savoring the craftsmanship. For Taurus, beauty is never about quick glances, it's about immersing themselves fully, appreciating the details, tracing the curves of marble as though they're touching history itself. In Florence, they'll lose track of time wandering through the Uffizi Gallery, eyes wide with wonder at Botticelli's Venus, the goddess who rules their sign, shimmering with divine grace. It feels personal, almost intimate, as if the art speaks directly to their heart. But soon, Taurus is drawn out of the bustling city into the countryside, where Tuscany truly reveals itself. Here, luxury is not flashy. It's quiet, rooted in the richness of the land. They settle into a rustic villa perched on a hillside, its stone walls draped with ivy, its terrace opening to a panorama of vineyards stretching as far as the eye can see. The pace slows to match Taurus' natural rhythm. Mornings are unhurried. A cappuccino sipped slowly on the terrace, warm sun on their skin, the hum of bees weaving through the olive trees nearby. And then comes the food, because for Taurus, travel without culinary indulgence is unthinkable. They spend afternoons in family-owned vineyards, swirling glasses of Chianti and Brunello, marveling at the way each sip tells a story of soil, climate, and passion. Lunch is a feast of handmade pappardelle coated in wild boar ragu, eaten outdoors beneath a pergola where vines weave shadows across the table. The flavors are bold, grounding, and deeply satisfying, exactly what Taurus craves. Dessert might be cantucci dipped in vin santo, a sweet ritual that feels like a secret passed down for generations. But Tuscany doesn't only seduce through taste, it entrances every sense. Taurus will wander through endless sunflower fields, run their hands over the rough bark of olive trees, and pause to breathe in the earthy perfume of truffles at a local market. They'll visit Siena, where Gothic architecture rises like poetry carved in stone, and they'll sit for hours in the Piazza del Campo, simply people watching, letting the rhythm of the city wash over them. Taurus is patient, and Tuscany rewards patience. Every hour spent in stillness reveals something new. The way the light shifts across terracotta rooftops, the echo of church bells rolling through valleys, the simple pleasure of a glass of wine paired with silence. Evenings belong to romance. As the sun dips low, the hills ignite in hues of gold and crimson, and Taurus feels a deep, almost spiritual connection to the land. They dine al fresco, candles flickering in the breeze, cicadas singing their eternal chorus. A glass of wine in hand, a plate of pecorino cheese drizzled with honey before them, Taurus feels not like a tourist, but like they've found their rightful place in the world. They'll linger here long after the meal is done, basking in conversation, laughter, or even comfortable silence. Unlike Aries, who would chase the next thrill, Taurus will happily stay rooted in Tuscany for weeks, even months. They're not interested in checking off tourist boxes, they want to live Tuscany, to let it seep into their bones. To rise and fall with its rhythms, to taste its seasons, to fold themselves into its timeless embrace. And eventually, when the time comes to leave, Taurus will hesitate. Because Tuscany doesn't just spoil them, it understands them. It feeds their senses, nurtures their soul, and wraps them in a beauty so complete they'll carry it in their heart forever. For Taurus, Tuscany is not a trip. It's home away from home, a place where their love of comfort, pleasure, and earthly richness is reflected back at them with perfect harmony. It's where their Venus-ruled spirit feels most alive, most indulged, and most at peace. Tuscany is not just the best destination for Taurus, it's their destiny. Gemini, the social butterflies. They crave variety, new people, and non-stop action. Where's their match? Tokyo, Japan, a city that never stops surprising you. Quirky cafes, vibrant nightlife, and endless conversation starters. Geminis will never get bored here. Gemini in Tokyo is like a spark meeting electricity. The connection is instant, unstoppable, and endlessly fascinating. The moment Gemini steps out of the airport, they're already wide-eyed, absorbing the dizzying contrasts of Japan's capital. On one side, sleek glass towers scrape the clouds, pulsing with neon advertisements and high-tech billboards. On the other, tucked into quiet alleys, are centuries-old shrines where the air smells faintly of incense and history whispers through wooden gates. Gemini thrives in duality, and Tokyo offers it in abundance. Tradition and modernity dancing side by side, never clashing, always complementing. This city speaks to Gemini's restless mind. Variety is everywhere, and every street corner is a new chapter waiting to be discovered. In Shibuya, Gemini is swept up in the famous Scramble Crossing, exhilarated by the sheer energy of thousands of people moving at once, each with their own story. They might dive into a trendy cafe that serves rainbow-colored lattes, then an hour later duck into a quiet bookshop where shelves overflow with manga and poetry. For Gemini, the joy is in contrast. The shift from loud to quiet, from modern to ancient, from quirky to profound. Tokyo's neighborhoods are like playgrounds for Gemini's curiosity. In Harajuku, they'll delight in the fashion-forward street styles, where young people strut in outfits that blur the line between costume and couture. Geminis will stop strangers, eager to chat, fascinated by the stories behind their bold choices. In Akihabara, the electric town, they'll plunge into arcades, neon-lit stores, and maid cafes that offer experiences found nowhere else in the world. The variety feeds them, the novelty energizes them. They're never still, never bored, always asking, "What's next?" Nightfall transforms Tokyo into another world, and Gemini is ready. They'll sip sake in tiny izakayas tucked under railway tracks, laughing with new friends they've just met at the bar. They'll head to Shinjuku's Golden Gai, where hundreds of microbars each have their own personality, some with jazz records spinning, others with punk posters plastered on the walls. Each bar holds conversations waiting to happen, and Geminis, masters of communication, thrive here. They flit from place to place, connecting with locals, tourists, and expats alike, soaking up stories like sponges, sharing their own tales in return. And yet, Tokyo isn't only chaos. When Gemini needs a softer moment, they find peace in Meiji Shrine's forested grounds or wander through Ueno Park, where cherry blossoms flutter like confetti in spring. These moments of quiet balance out the fast pace, offering reflection before the next adventure. Tokyo's balance between calm and energy mirrors Gemini's duality, sometimes the thinker, sometimes the talker, always both. Above all, Tokyo keeps Gemini endlessly entertained. Whether they're testing futuristic vending machines, singing karaoke until dawn, discovering hidden rooftop bars, or watching the sunrise from the Rainbow Bridge, every hour brings a new surprise. For a sign that lives on stimulation, conversation, and exploration, Tokyo isn't just a destination, it's a soulmate. Cancer, the sentimental soul. They travel for emotional connection and comfort. A destination that feels like a warm hug? Santorini, Greece. Beautiful sunsets, ocean views, and cozy little villages, perfect for a Cancer to recharge their sensitive spirit. For Cancer, arriving in Santorini feels less like travel and more like returning to a long-lost home. The island welcomes them gently, wrapping them in light, warmth, and beauty. As the ferry approaches, Cancer gazes at whitewashed houses clinging to cliffs, their walls glowing in the sun, their blue-domed roofs mirroring the endless Aegean Sea. It's a scene so breathtakingly tender that Cancer's heart swells instantly. For this water sign, who feels life through emotions, Santorini is not just a destination, it's medicine for the soul. Cancer craves comfort, and Santorini delivers it in the simplest, most genuine ways. Their mornings begin with breakfast on a sunlit terrace, fresh figs, honey, yogurt, and strong Greek coffee, all served with a view of the caldera that seems almost unreal. They linger here, letting the breeze carry the scent of salt and wild herbs, feeling safe, nurtured, and deeply connected to the moment. For Cancer, travel is not about rushing through sights, but about savoring experiences that feel like home in a faraway place. The villages call to them next. In Oya, Cancer strolls through narrow, winding paths lined with bougainvillea cascading in bright pink blooms. They pause often, not just for photos, but to admire the quiet details: a hand-painted door, a stray cat basking in the sun, a grandmother selling handmade linens. Each detail speaks of history, family, and love, values Cancer treasures above all else. They are sensitive to the island's rhythm, moving slowly, letting its calmness seep into their bones. Of course, no destination soothes Cancer's soul like the sea. They'll spend hours gazing at the Aegean, its deep blue waves stretching endlessly, its tides whispering secrets only they can hear. Cancer will dip into the warm water, feeling embraced, healed, and restored. On black sand beaches like Parissa or Red Beach, they'll dig their toes into volcanic sand, listening to the lull of waves, feeling both grounded and free. The sea is their sanctuary, and in Santorini, it's always near. As evening falls, Cancer experiences the magic that draws travelers from all corners of the world: the Santorini sunset. From a quiet spot on the cliffs, they watch as the sky transforms into a canvas of gold, pink, and violet, the sun sinking into the sea like a glowing ember. For others, it's just a view. For Cancer, it's a moment of profound connection, to nature, to love, to life itself. Their sentimental soul soaks in the beauty until tears blur their vision, not out of sadness, but because they've found something pure, something that speaks directly to their heart. Nights in Santorini are gentle. Cancer prefers candlelit tavernas over loud clubs. They'll savor moussaka, grilled fish, and baklava dripping with honey, sharing dishes with loved ones, feeling nourished by both food and companionship. Conversations flow easily here, deep and heartfelt, the kind Cancer lives for. They may wander afterward through quiet streets, the moonlight silvering the white walls, the sound of distant waves echoing like a lullaby. Santorini is not about constant stimulation, it's about emotional fulfillment. It offers Cancer the chance to retreat, recharge, and reconnect with themselves and those they love. It gives them sunsets that heal, seas that comfort, and villages that feel like family. For Cancer, who moves through life guided by feelings, Santorini is not just a destination. It's a sanctuary, a warm embrace in the form of an island, a place where their sensitive soul can finally rest and shine. Leo, the star of the show. They need glamour, luxury, and a stage to shine on. Where else but Dubai? Iconic skyscrapers, golden beaches, and lavish experiences. Leos will thrive where they can feel like royalty. When Leo arrives in Dubai, it feels like destiny. This isn't just a city. It's a stage, gleaming under desert sun and sparkling at night with more lights than the stars above. From the moment they set foot in the airport, they're wrapped in an atmosphere of grandeur. The architecture alone is a declaration. Soaring skyscrapers that defy gravity, gilded interiors that gleam like palaces, fountains that dance as if to welcome them personally. For Leo, who thrives on attention, beauty, and luxury, Dubai doesn't just meet expectations, it magnifies them. The first stop, of course, is the Burj Khalifa. Rising higher than any other building in the world, it's a monument to ambition and glory, qualities Leo carries in their soul. They step into the elevator, hearts pounding, and ascend at breathtaking speed. At the top, they stand above the city, gazing out at a glittering metropolis that stretches endlessly into desert and sea. For Leo, this is more than a view, it's validation. The world is beneath them, literally, and they shine in this moment, basking in the majesty of being at the very peak. But Leo's hunger for glamour doesn't stop with architecture. They crave experiences that shimmer with indulgence. A yacht cruise along Dubai Marina becomes a private stage where they sip champagne, golden sun rays reflecting off the water like liquid fire. On Jumeirah Beach, they recline in cabanas draped with silk, attendants bringing exotic cocktails adorned with fruit and flowers. The sound of waves blends with laughter, and the camera loves them here. Every photo they take looks like it belongs on the cover of a magazine. Shopping in Dubai is an adventure of its own. The Dubai Mall isn't just a shopping center, it's a kingdom of luxury. Designer boutiques line marble corridors, glittering with gold jewelry, couture gowns, and limited edition treasures that seem designed for Leo's bold taste. They try on sparkling outfits, admire themselves in mirror after mirror, and know instinctively, they belong here. For Leos, fashion is not vanity, it's self-expression, and Dubai offers endless ways to dazzle. And when the desert calls, Leo answers with style. They join a private safari, riding across golden dunes in sleek vehicles, pausing only to admire the vastness of the desert glowing under a setting sun. Later, under a canopy of stars, they sit on plush cushions at a Bedouin camp, savoring aromatic dishes as dancers twirl fire and music fills the night. The atmosphere feels regal, like a celebration thrown just for them, and Leo soaks it in with the satisfaction of a ruler among their people. Nightlife in Dubai is a Leo's paradise. Rooftop bars gleam like jewels above the skyline, with infinity pools reflecting the moonlight and DJs spinning beats that set the night ablaze. Leos dance, laugh, and command attention effortlessly. They aren't just part of the crowd, they are the centerpiece, the flame around which others naturally gather. In this city, their confidence is celebrated, their charisma magnified, and their love of performance fully embraced. Even quieter moments are infused with opulence. Afternoon tea at the Burj Al Arab, where gold leaf glistens on pastries and the view of the Gulf stretches endlessly, feels like a ritual designed for their royal spirit. Every sip, every bite, is a reminder that life, for Leo, should always be lived like a grand celebration. Dubai mirrors everything Leo is and everything they desire: bold, glamorous, radiant, and larger than life. It gives them a stage wide enough to showcase their brilliance, a city dazzling enough to match their sparkle, and a world luxurious enough to make them feel like the royalty they've always known themselves to be. For Leo, Dubai isn't just a destination, it's the throne room of their dreams. Virgo, the planner and perfectionist. They appreciate culture, history, and order. Kyoto, Japan, is their dreamland: beautiful temples, Zen gardens, and traditions that align perfectly with Virgo's appreciation for detail and harmony. Kyoto greets Virgo not with noise or chaos, but with a quiet grace that feels instantly restorative. For this meticulous, thoughtful earth sign, the city is a sanctuary where every detail has meaning, every line is intentional, and every tradition is preserved with care. From the moment Virgo sets foot on its streets, they feel the balance, the harmony of old and new, the rhythm of life flowing with precision and elegance. Kyoto isn't just a city to them, it's an embodiment of their inner world, where order and beauty coexist in perfect symmetry. Virgo begins in the heart of the city, wandering through wooden streets lined with tea houses that have stood for centuries. The architecture is simple yet flawless, each beam placed with care, each sliding door a work of understated perfection. In Gyeong, they watch as geisha glide silently down narrow lanes, their movements precise, their presence steeped in tradition. Virgo, who notices details others often overlook, is captivated by the intricate embroidery on kimono fabric, the deliberate steps of geta sandals, the way lanterns glow softly against the evening sky. Temples and shrines call to them next, offering spaces where structure and spirituality intertwine. At Kinkaku-ji, the golden pavilion shimmers on the surface of a still pond, its reflection so perfect that Virgo feels compelled to pause and admire the symmetry. At Ryo-en-ji, the Zen rock garden speaks directly to their soul. Stones arranged with deliberate care invite meditation on simplicity, patience, and precision. Virgo kneels, absorbing the lesson: beauty is not in excess, but in refinement. Kyoto's gardens are living art, and Virgo delights in their order. They stroll through Arashiyama's bamboo grove, where stalks rise in regimented rows, creating a cathedral of green light. The sound of rustling leaves is soft, almost mathematical in its rhythm, and Virgo feels at peace in the structure of nature itself. Later, they wander the philosopher's path, where cherry blossoms scatter like pale confetti in spring, each petal a reminder of fleeting perfection. For Virgo, these moments are nourishment, gentle, precise, and deeply restorative. Food in Kyoto is not rushed indulgence, but ceremony. Virgo takes joy in kaiseki dining, where each dish arrives as a carefully composed masterpiece. Tiny porcelain bowls cradle pickled vegetables arranged like flowers, sashimi is sliced with surgical precision, and broths are infused with subtle, balanced flavors. Virgo admires not only the taste but the craftsmanship, the discipline, the respect for ingredients. Every bite feels like an affirmation of their own love for order and care. Virgo also finds comfort in the rituals of Kyoto's tea ceremonies. They sit in tatami rooms, watching as tea is prepared with deliberate movements, each step purposeful, each gesture carrying centuries of tradition. The process speaks to Virgo's heart, discipline in service of beauty, simplicity in service of depth. They sip the matcha slowly, appreciating the frothy green liquid not just as a drink, but as an experience of mindfulness and perfection. Unlike signs that chase noise and spectacle, Virgo prefers the quiet corners of Kyoto. The bookshops hidden in back alleys, the calligraphy workshops where ink strokes require patience and focus, the museums that preserve centuries of history. Each discovery reinforces their sense of harmony. Even the city's public transportation, punctual to the second, delights them. Virgo feels aligned here, in a place where order is respected and beauty is never rushed. As evening falls, Kyoto glows softly with paper lanterns. Virgo takes a quiet stroll along the Kamo River, watching the reflection of bridges ripple on the water. Couples walk hand in hand, musicians play gentle songs, and the night feels calm, structured, and safe. Virgo breathes deeply, grateful for a place that mirrors their values so perfectly. Kyoto isn't about thrills or chaos. It's about detail, discipline, and harmony, the very qualities that define Virgo. It offers them a world where everything is intentional, everything is meaningful, and everything is designed to nurture the soul through balance and beauty. For Virgo, Kyoto is more than a dreamland. It's proof that perfection, in its quietest and most sacred form, can truly exist. Libra, the lovers of balance, beauty, and romance. Paris, of course, the city of love, art, and style. Strolling down the Seine, admiring the Louvre, sipping coffee in a charming cafe, it's Libra heaven. For Libra, Paris is more than a destination. It's the embodiment of everything they live for: elegance, romance, beauty, and harmony. From the very first moment they arrive, the city feels like a perfect reflection of their Venus-ruled spirit. The cobblestone streets are arranged like an invitation, the boulevards stretch gracefully under rows of trees, and the Seine glitters with a soft, timeless light that makes every glance feel like a painting. Paris isn't simply a city to visit, it's a love affair that Libra will never want to end. They begin their days with the quintessential Parisian ritual: sitting at a café terrace, sipping a café cream, watching the world go by. Libra thrives on aesthetics, and here, every detail delights them. The polished marble tables, the aroma of freshly baked croissants wafting from the bakery next door, the soft murmur of conversations in French, all of it feels like music. Libras adore people watching, and Paris offers an endless parade of inspiration. Stylish Parisians in perfectly tailored coats, lovers walking arm in arm, artists sketching quietly at the edge of the square. Each passerby is a story, each moment a tableau vivant, and Libra drinks it all in with delight. Of course, art calls to them, and Libra cannot resist the Louvre. But they don't rush through its halls, they linger, because Libras are not content with surface impressions. They pause in front of the winged Victory of Samothrace, marveling at the way the folds of stone fabric seem to flutter in a wind that isn't there. They stand before the Mona Lisa, not just admiring her mysterious smile but considering the balance of light and shadow, the symmetry of her form. For Libra, it's not about checking off masterpieces. It's about communing with beauty, letting art spark conversations inside their own mind and heart. But Libra is equally enchanted by the city itself, which is, in many ways, a living gallery. The Eiffel Tower, illuminated at night, feels like a beacon of romance, each glittering light a reminder of love's magic. They stroll along the Seine, hands brushing against the stone balustrades, pausing on bridges to watch the reflections shimmer below. The symmetry of the city's layout appeals to their innate sense of balance, while its elegance satisfies their hunger for style. Every walk feels like poetry, every corner like the setting for a love story they're destined to star in. Romance is where Libra feels most alive, and Paris provides it in endless supply. Candlelit dinners in cozy bistros, with soft jazz playing in the background. Afternoons spent wandering through Montmartre, where winding streets lead them to Sacré-Cœur, perched above the city like a crown. Sharing macarons in pastel hues at La Durée, laughing over the sweetness of each bite. For Libra, every interaction, every meal, every glance exchanged in Paris carries a touch of romance. Fashion, too, cannot be ignored. Libra adores beauty in clothing and style, and the boutiques of the Marais or the grand elegance of Avenue Montaigne are irresistible. They browse racks of chic dresses, silk scarves, and perfectly cut suits, imagining how each piece reflects their personality. Libra doesn't simply buy clothes, they curate beauty, and Paris offers them the finest palette to choose from. In the evening, Paris transforms into something almost otherworldly. Street lamps glow with golden light, music drifts from open doors, and the scent of fresh bread from late-night bakeries fills the air. Libra might find themselves on a rooftop bar, gazing at the city skyline with a glass of champagne in hand, or perhaps at the Opéra Garnier, where gilded interiors and soaring music fill their heart with awe. No matter where they are, they feel perfectly placed, balanced, loved, inspired. Paris is Libra's dream because it is balance embodied, the balance of old and new, of grandeur and intimacy, of art and life. It nurtures their love of beauty, satisfies their need for romance, and offers them endless opportunities to connect with others and with themselves. For Libra, Paris is not just heaven, it's home for the soul. Scorpio, the mysterious traveler. They want depth, intensity, and transformative experiences. Where else but Cairo, Egypt? The pyramids, ancient tombs, and the secrets of history align perfectly with Scorpio's craving for hidden truths. For Scorpio, travel is never about surface pleasures, it's about peeling back layers, seeking what lies beneath, uncovering the truths that others overlook. That's why Cairo speaks to them like no other city. From the moment Scorpio sets foot in Egypt's capital, they feel the pulse of history under their feet. The air is thick with mystery, heavy with desert dust and incense, alive with whispers of civilizations long gone yet never forgotten. To Scorpio, Cairo isn't just a city. It's a portal into something deeper, older, and infinitely powerful. Their journey begins with the pyramids of Giza. Standing before these colossal monuments, Scorpio is overwhelmed not just by their size, but by the secrets they contain. How were they built? What knowledge has been lost to time? Scorpio, drawn to hidden truths, can't stop their mind from spiraling into questions. They wander through the cool shadows of ancient stones, running their hands along walls carved thousands of years ago, feeling the weight of history press against their skin. Unlike other travelers snapping quick photos, Scorpio closes their eyes, imagines the lives of the people who built these wonders, and feels an almost psychic connection to the past. The Sphinx captivates them too, its silent gaze both haunting and magnetic. Scorpio sees in it a mirror of their own spirit, enigmatic, unreadable, but endlessly profound. They stand for long minutes, staring back into those weathered eyes, sensing riddles hidden within stone, knowing instinctively that not everything is meant to be solved but rather felt. But Scorpio's exploration doesn't end with monuments. They descend into ancient tombs in the Valley of the Kings, where walls glow with hieroglyphs telling stories of gods, death, and rebirth. The energy in these spaces is intense, charged with centuries of ritual. Scorpio, naturally attuned to transformation and the mysteries of life and death, feels at home here. They move slowly, reverently, absorbing the atmosphere, sensing that they are in the presence of something sacred. Cairo itself is a maze that appeals to Scorpio's love of intensity. In the Khan el-Khalili Bazaar, narrow alleys wind between stalls overflowing with spices, lanterns, jewelry, and artifacts. The air is thick with bargaining voices and the scent of cardamom and sandalwood. Scorpio thrives here, drawn into hushed conversations with merchants, probing stories about where each artifact comes from, questioning, always searching for truth. They're fascinated by the undercurrent of mystery that runs through the market, the possibility of finding something rare, something forgotten, something only they would recognize as valuable. The Egyptian Museum is another treasure chest for Scorpio's soul. Here, they stand before the golden mask of Tutankhamun, awestruck by its brilliance, but more captivated by the aura of power and secrecy it radiates. For Scorpio, these objects are not just relics, they are clues, fragments of stories that speak to the eternal cycle of life, death, and rebirth that they understand so instinctively. Even in quieter moments, Scorpio seeks depth. At sunset, they might retreat to the Nile, watching the river flow as it has for millennia. The water glimmers with fiery light, and Scorpio contemplates the civilizations it has sustained, the rituals it has witnessed, the secrets it still carries. They are moved not just by the beauty of the scene but by its symbolism. The Nile is a source of life and transformation, eternal and unstoppable, just like the Scorpio spirit. At night, Cairo hums with life. Scorpio seeks out conversations in dimly lit cafes, sipping strong, bitter coffee while discussing philosophy, history, and fate with locals. They are not tourists here, they are seekers, always digging deeper, always probing for meaning beneath the surface. For Scorpio, even casual talks can turn into transformative exchanges that linger in memory long after the journey ends. Cairo is everything Scorpio craves: mystery, intensity, power, and transformation. It challenges them, feeds their curiosity, and connects them to something timeless and profound. For Scorpio, this city isn't just a trip, it's a journey into the depths of existence, a reminder that the greatest truths are always hidden, waiting for those brave enough to seek them. Sagittarius, the wanderer of the zodiac. No one loves traveling more than them. They crave freedom, wild landscapes, and exploration. Patagonia, Argentina is calling. With its rugged mountains and untamed beauty, it's an adventurer's paradise. For Sagittarius, travel is not a luxury, it's oxygen. The archer of the zodiac is always seeking, always roaming, always hungry for the horizon that lies just out of reach. Patagonia is not simply a destination for Sagittarius, it is a living embodiment of their soul's calling. When they arrive, they are immediately struck by the vastness, the raw immensity of the land. Endless skies stretch above them, unbroken and boundless, while jagged mountains pierce the heavens and glaciers shimmer in shades of blue so surreal they seem otherworldly. It is freedom made physical, and Sagittarius breathes it in like fire. They begin their journey in El Calafate, the gateway to Patagonia's wonders. From here, they trek to the Perito Moreno Glacier, a massive wall of ice that roars as chunks break off into turquoise waters below. Sagittarius stands in awe, exhilarated by the sheer force of nature on display. But they're not content to simply watch. They strap on crampons and walk across the glacier itself, ice crunching beneath their boots, wind whipping their hair, each step a reminder of their hunger to explore the farthest reaches of the earth. They crave not just beauty, but the experience of standing inside it, feeling it, living it. Hiking is second nature to Sagittarius, and Patagonia offers trails that stretch as endlessly as their restless spirit. In Torres del Paine National Park, they tackle treks that weave through valleys, past emerald lakes, and up to the iconic granite towers that rise defiantly into the sky. Sagittarius is in their element here, carrying only a backpack, guided by curiosity and courage. They move swiftly, their adventurous heart beating faster with every ascent, every bend that reveals yet another breathtaking vista. Unlike others who might stop from exhaustion, Sagittarius feeds on the challenge. For them, fatigue is irrelevant when freedom and discovery are the rewards. But Patagonia isn't only about mountains and ice. It's about the sheer variety of wild, untamed landscapes that Sagittarius thrives on. They gallop across windswept plains on horseback, channeling their inner nomad, their laughter carried away by the fierce Patagonian wind. They kayak through fjords where glaciers spill into the sea, seals bob in the water, and silence reigns so profound it feels sacred. They camp under skies unpolluted by city lights, watching the Milky Way blaze overhead, feeling small yet infinite at the same time. Sagittarius loves these moments most, the ones that remind them the world is vast, mysterious, and still waiting to be discovered. And then, of course, there's adventure in every corner. They climb mountains not for the view alone, but for the thrill of conquering them. They ride mountain bikes across rugged trails, sprint down rivers in whitewater rafts, and seize every opportunity Patagonia throws their way. For Sagittarius, this land is a testing ground for their spirit, untamed, unpredictable, unyielding, just like them. Patagonia also satisfies their philosophical side. As they sit by a campfire in the wilderness, sparks rising into the star-streaked sky, Sagittarius reflects on the meaning of it all. They think about explorers who came before them, the indigenous stories woven into the land, the timelessness of glaciers that have outlasted civilizations. For Sagittarius, travel is always both physical and spiritual, and Patagonia offers both in abundance. In this wild corner of the world, Sagittarius finds what they've been searching for, not just landscapes to conquer, but freedom in its purest form. Patagonia whispers to them, keep going, keep exploring, keep wandering. And Sagittarius, true to their nature, answers with joy. For them, Patagonia is not a trip. It's the ultimate adventure, the one that fuels their spirit and leaves them forever changed. Capricorn, the ambitious climber. They like destinations that challenge them but also reward them with prestige. Switzerland is the perfect match, majestic mountains, world-class cities, and that balance of discipline and luxury that Capricorn admires. Capricorn doesn't travel for the sake of wandering. They travel with purpose, with goals, with the same ambition that drives every part of their lives. They want challenges, but they also want rewards worthy of their effort. That's why Switzerland is their perfect match, a land of towering peaks, immaculate order, and understated prestige. It is a place where discipline meets beauty, where achievement is woven into every mountain trail and every city street. The Swiss Alps are Capricorn's natural playground. As the mountain goat of the zodiac, they feel a primal connection to peaks that demand respect and persistence. From Zermatt, they gaze at the Matterhorn, its pyramid shape slicing into the sky with an authority Capricorn instantly recognizes. They prepare meticulously for the climb, packing the right gear, checking weather conditions, planning every step. This is not recklessness, it's strategy. Capricorn thrives on structure, and the mountains reward it. As they ascend, lungs burning, legs aching, they feel alive in the struggle. Reaching the summit is not just a view, it's victory, proof that discipline and determination always pay off. But Capricorn also values refinement, and Switzerland offers it in abundance. After days of conquering trails, they retreat to luxury chalets with roaring fireplaces, sipping hot chocolate while gazing out at snow-blanketed valleys. They ride the Glacier Express, a train journey that glides smoothly through landscapes so perfect they look painted, jagged cliffs, serene lakes, villages that seem untouched by time. Everything runs on time, everything is polished, and Capricorn feels deeply at home in a country that values precision and excellence as much as they do. Cities like Zurich and Geneva satisfy Capricorn's cosmopolitan side. Zurich, with its financial prowess and impeccable organization, speaks to their ambition. They stroll along Bahnhofstrasse, one of the world's most prestigious shopping avenues, not just browsing but admiring the craftsmanship of Swiss watches and luxury goods that symbolize enduring value. Geneva, with its international organizations and aura of diplomacy, reflects Capricorn's respect for responsibility and global achievement. Here, they feel the weight of importance, the sense that this is a place where serious things happen, where discipline creates progress. And yet, Switzerland is not all seriousness. It's also indulgence done with restraint, exactly how Capricorn likes it. They savor fondue in mountain lodges, slowly dipping bread into molten cheese, appreciating not just the taste but the tradition behind it. They sample Swiss chocolate, admiring the precision with which each truffle is crafted, knowing that true excellence lies in details. Even leisure in Switzerland feels earned, refined, and perfectly aligned with Capricorn's values. Winter transforms the country into Capricorn's dream. Ski resorts like St. Moritz combine athletic challenge with elite luxury. Capricorn pushes themselves down slopes, carving precise turns with determination, then relaxes in spas where snowflakes drift outside panoramic windows. It's a balance of effort and reward, discipline and decadence, that mirrors their own life philosophy. Even quieter moments resonate. Hiking beside pristine alpine lakes, Capricorn reflects on the balance between ambition and peace. Listening to distant cowbells in mountain meadows, they feel grounded, connected to the land, reminded that success is not only about reaching peaks but also about appreciating stability along the way. Switzerland is everything Capricorn admires: majestic, disciplined, prestigious, and rewarding. It challenges their body, sharpens their mind, and indulges their taste for the finer things in life. For Capricorn, this isn't just a vacation destination, it's a mirror of their own spirit. A land where hard work pays off, where discipline builds beauty, and where every summit climbed feels like a crown earned. Aquarius, the visionary and rebel. They need something quirky, unusual, and ahead of its time. Reykjavik, Iceland fits perfectly. Northern lights, geothermal lagoons, and an eccentric culture that resonates with Aquarius' unique soul. Aquarius doesn't simply want to travel, they want to step into the future, into the extraordinary, into places that most people would never think to go. Their restless, innovative mind craves experiences that are unconventional, inspiring, and just a little bit eccentric. Reykjavik, Iceland, is exactly that. A city that feels like it exists on the edge of the earth, blending ancient Viking roots with futuristic creativity, surrounded by a natural landscape so surreal it feels like another planet. For Aquarius, it's the ultimate playground for their rebellious, visionary spirit. The moment they arrive, Aquarius notices the difference. Reykjavik is unlike any other capital city. It's small, cozy, yet buzzing with artistic energy, every street corner decorated with bold murals and quirky sculptures. The houses are painted in bright colors, reds, blues, yellows, that pop against the stark northern light. It's as if the city itself refuses conformity, mirroring Aquarius' refusal to fit into anyone's mold. They wander down Lagavegur Street, popping into record shops filled with obscure Icelandic bands, bookstores stacked with niche philosophy, and cafes that double as art galleries. Every doorway feels like a secret waiting to be discovered. But the real magic lies beyond the city, in the landscapes that defy imagination. Aquarius is endlessly fascinated by the raw, alien beauty of Iceland. Steaming geothermal vents hissing in fields of lava rock, waterfalls crashing with a force that shakes the ground, glaciers gleaming like frozen time capsules. They trek to Ingvellir National Park, where two tectonic plates slowly pull apart, literally walking between continents. No sign could be clearer for Aquarius, the sign of progress and revolution. They are always straddling worlds, always existing on the edge of change. Then comes the moment they've been dreaming of, the northern lights. On a cold, clear night, they bundle up and head into the countryside, leaving city lights behind. They tilt their head to the sky and suddenly, there it is. Curtains of green and violet light ripple across the heavens, shifting, pulsing, alive. Aquarius doesn't just see the aurora, they feel it. To them, it's not just a natural phenomenon. It's a cosmic message, a reminder of their connection to the universe and their role as visionaries on this planet. While others gasp and take photos, Aquarius stares silently, their mind spinning with thoughts of galaxies, energy, and the mysteries still waiting to be solved. Daylight brings different adventures. They soak in the blue lagoon, a geothermal spa that looks like something from science fiction, milky blue water steaming against a backdrop of black lava fields. Aquarius floats effortlessly, skin tingling with minerals, mind buzzing with ideas. This isn't just relaxation, it's rejuvenation on a soul level. And of course, they strike up conversations with strangers soaking beside them, trading ideas about philosophy, technology, or the future of humanity. For Aquarius, no encounter is too random. Every exchange has the potential to spark something revolutionary. Back in Reykjavik, nightlife is another revelation. This isn't a city of predictable bars and clubs. It's a place where live music thrives, where experimental bands play in basements, and DJs spin in venues that feel like hidden sanctuaries for free spirits. Aquarius thrives in this scene, dancing not for the sake of attention, but for the joy of expression, for the electric current of community that surges through the crowd. They feel completely at home here, surrounded by people who embrace individuality, creativity, and eccentricity. Even Iceland's traditions feed Aquarius' soul. They're fascinated by sagas of Vikings and elves, myths of hidden people living in rocks and hills. It's unconventional, mystical, and quirky, exactly the kind of folklore Aquarius loves to question and reinterpret. They find themselves sitting with locals, sipping Brennivin, Iceland's traditional spirit, while debating mythology, science, and the blurred line between reality and imagination. For Aquarius, Reykjavik and Iceland are not just destinations, they are a state of mind. A place where the old and new coexist, where natural wonders meet human innovation, where eccentricity isn't just tolerated but celebrated. It's a place that challenges their perspective, excites their imagination, and confirms what they've always known deep down, that the world is full of strangeness, brilliance, and beauty if you dare to look for it. And finally Pisces, the dreamer. They seek magic, escape, and a touch of spirituality. Bali, Indonesia is a Pisces dream come true. Yoga retreats, mystical temples, and ocean waves that whisper poetry to their soul. For Pisces, travel isn't about landmarks or itineraries, it's about dissolving into the experience, about letting the soul drift into realms of beauty, emotion, and spirituality. They crave places that feel otherworldly, places where the veil between the seen and unseen grows thin. Bali is exactly that. It's not just a tropical island, it's a living dream, a canvas of green rice terraces, sacred temples, and turquoise waters where Pisces can lose themselves, only to find themselves again on a higher, more mystical plane. From the moment they arrive, Pisces feels the island's energy. The air itself seems charged with serenity and magic. They wake up to the sound of roosters crowing and distant temple bells, the scent of incense drifting through the morning breeze. Their villa is surrounded by jungle, where banana leaves sway and geckos click in the shadows. Pisces sits quietly on the veranda, sipping fresh coconut water, gazing at emerald rice paddies stretching into infinity, and they already feel transformed. Spirituality is the heartbeat of Bali, and Pisces immerses themselves completely. They visit Ubud, the island's cultural soul, where yoga studios and healing centers line the streets. Here, Pisces finds what they've always been searching for, a place where meditation, breath, and movement merge into a spiritual flow. They spend mornings in yoga practice, afternoons in sound healing sessions where vibrations of gongs wash over them, dissolving stress and unlocking emotions they didn't know they carried. Pisces thrives here because Bali doesn't just offer spirituality, it lives and breathes it. Temples are everywhere, each one a doorway into the mystical. Pisces is captivated by Tanalot, perched dramatically on a rock formation in the sea, waves crashing around it like eternal prayers. At sunrise, they climb the steps of Lempuyang Temple, where the gates of heaven frame Mount Agung in the distance. Standing there, clouds swirling beneath their feet, Pisces feels as though they are standing at the edge of two worlds, the earthly and the divine. Every offering of flowers and incense left at these temples resonates with their soul's longing for connection to something greater. But Pisces also finds magic in the simplest details. They wander through traditional markets, entranced by vibrant fabrics, carved statues, and baskets of exotic fruits whose colors seem painted by a dream. They walk along beaches at dusk, toes in warm sand, watching the sun sink in molten gold, listening as the waves whisper secrets only they can hear. Pisces doesn't just see the beauty, they absorb it, letting it wash over them until it becomes part of who they are. Bali also awakens Pisces' artistic side. Surrounded by dancers in ornate costumes, by music that echoes with ancient rhythms, they feel inspiration sparking like fireflies in their mind. They sketch, they write, they let creativity flow unfiltered, because Bali encourages imagination, dream, and expression. This island doesn't just host Pisces, it collaborates with them, pulling art straight from their soul. Of course, water is their element, and Bali offers it in every form. They swim in hidden waterfalls deep in the jungle, the cool rush of water cleansing not just their body but their spirit. They snorkel among coral reefs, swimming with kaleidoscopic fish, feeling as if they've slipped into another world entirely. They sit by the ocean for hours, listening to its eternal rhythm, losing track of time. For Pisces, the sea is more than water, it's a mirror of their soul, infinite, mysterious, and filled with poetry. In Bali, Pisces experiences the escape they've always dreamed of, a world where spirituality, art, and nature intertwine seamlessly. Here, they don't have to force themselves into the harsh structures of reality, they can simply be, flowing with the rhythms of the island, dissolving into its magic. Bali doesn't just host Pisces, it welcomes them home to the realm of dreamers, mystics, and poets. For Pisces, Bali is not a destination, it's a sanctuary. A place where their spirit can breathe, where their heart can open, and where their imagination can dance freely with the divine. It is their paradise, their poetry, their dream made real. So, what's your sign, and did your destination surprise you? Maybe the stars have been pointing you to your perfect getaway all along. If you loved this journey through the zodiac, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more cosmic insights, and check out the links in the description for more astrology and travel inspiration. Who knows, your dream trip might be written in the stars.